brought to you by Melon, the best live streaming platform on the planet. I actually use Melon as a Zoom alternative for my remote interviews, but what it's really for, it's a powerful live streaming platform that allows you to go live simultaneously on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or your own custom servers, all at the same time. No accounts, you go live in just 5 clicks, and they've got these amazing themes and overlays to make your stream look incredible. So go check them out. Click on the link in the description below to try them for free. Thanks, Melon.
Yeah, what's up? It's 24K. I'm here with Tom Ward. We're about to do an interview. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the Tom Ward Show, where we interview the biggest creators in the world. And today we've got 24kGoldn, a rapper, singer, songwriter, and entrepreneur.
That's a, damn, what an introduction, huh?
You are all those things, really.
That is true.
I saw your tweet yesterday about your high school quote. And I was like, if you guys didn't see it, you know, usually you put a quote in, something inspirational, you give shout outs to your friends or something. Not this guy. He put his SoundCloud link as his quote. And have you always had that hustle? Like, I mean, that's impressive.
Promo, I'm a big promo guy. Like, back in the day, I was very heavily self-promoting. So it was like, I had stickers. I had kids running around like tagging shit up with my SoundCloud link in the city. So for me, I was like, all right, damn near everybody's gonna buy this yearbook. So if you go through all the pages and you see my SoundCloud link there, then you might check it out, you know?
Potential listeners.
Exactly, and I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah. You're doing okay.
I mean, I think it was the only reason why is because I put my SoundCloud link in my yearbook. I think that was the spark for my career.
How long did it take to grow on SoundCloud? What was your trajectory?
I mean, I was never like a huge SoundCloud rapper. It kind of just went everywhere at the same time. Like, I definitely had a sizable following once I figured out how to market on there, but it was. I had songs doing like 100K, 200K eventually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember my first song that like kind of went up on SoundCloud was a song called Plug Line. And I made it over like this YouTube beat. And at that point, my biggest song probably had like 7,000 or 10,000 plays on SoundCloud. But this one got like 35,000 in a month.
Damn.
And I was like tripping out like, why is this happening? I don't know, but this is fire.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That's badass. You know, it took like Trippie Redd and kind of those guys to come out to kind of give it cred. But for a while, SoundCloud rappers were looked at like the pecking order was way down here.
Jokes, yeah.
They were almost jokes, and that kind of came up. But you blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
You don't want to be known as a TikTok rapper, I'm guessing. Like, or is that down on the pecking order too?
I think it's just like, it's weird for me because even when it was just SoundCloud rappers, it's like, well, what other type of rappers are there? It's not like Bandcamp. It's like rappers or YouTube rappers. It was just, this is the platform that everyone is putting their music on. So some music is gonna be good, some music is gonna be bad. It's just like, I've always been it's the quality of what you're putting out there, not where you're putting it out. So for me, you could call me, I've been a SoundCloud rapper before, I've been a TikTok rapper. I'm on YouTube, I'm a YouTube rapper, I'm a Spotify rapper now, so it's like, whatever you want to call it, I don't really care at this point. I just care if you like the music.
Hell yeah. You know, it's so interesting to see the way TikTok, I mean, you blew up on there and you probably always talk about that shit, right?
Yeah.
But I saw another quote or another tweet you said, or maybe it was an Instagram post where you're like, you have a song Prada?
Yeah.
He's like, the record company's gonna let me release Prada if I get, if it blows up
on TikTok.
Is that how it is now?
To a certain extent, I mean, release dates are always determined with a variety of factors. But if your song is going crazy on TikTok before, then the label starts to give a fuck more than if it was just like a scheduled release. Like when they see, labels are always very data driven and numbers driven.
Sure, of course.
So if they see, oh, there's interest in this, let's give it a push when it comes out versus like if you just put it out and then they're waiting to see if it does something, but it might not do something for a long time because not enough people heard it because it didn't get that push in the beginning. Yeah,
so it's all the algorithm and all that you got to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's wild because you've got that big TikTok following. I wonder if it's like Kevin Hart it was so cool. I heard him talk about it because he has a big social media following, and he was doing a movie, and they're like, okay, Kevin, so I need you to post 3 times a day here on Instagram. I need you to do this, and he's like, oh, time out. You signed Kevin Hart, the actor.
Yeah.
If you want the influencer Kevin Hart, that's an additional fee.
Yeah.
That's not part of the deal.
And I
do you
feel
look
him.
at? Do you feel kind of what he's saying?
1,000%, because I'd be the label, they're like, they want you to post like every day with the song before it comes out for months, theoretically. You know, that's their ideal rollout plan. It's just milking artists' social media accounts. And I'm like, well, then what do you guys do, you know?
What do we need
but
you guys
it's
for?
It's a give and take thing, because if it works, great. But if it doesn't, then it just feels like a waste of time, and you're kind of like forcing content that might not even, like I might not even give a fuck. I'm just doing it to.
That sucks.
Yeah, but with this rollout, like, and just everything I've been doing in general lately, I've just been letting it flow more organically. Like, if do I have something funny that I could do with this?
Yeah.
Okay. If not, no worries. It's a good song. I think it's gonna do what it's supposed to do anyways.
You nailed it. I saw your post today. Like, I don't know if it's still up. You're shirtless. You go, feeling kind of cute. Might take down.
Yeah.
Like, that's a funny post. Yeah, like, you were just fucking around. Like, no manager told you, okay, do this and post this at 4:05 today. You're gonna get the most engagement.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
And I feel like when I first joined the industry, I was listening to those kind of things a lot more from, you know, label or PR or whatever. Like, but the thing is, they're not concerned about what's best for you as an artist. They're concerned about what's best for their company, you know? So it's like, they have 10 artists that they sign, you know? So if all 10 artists do this thing and it works for one of them, great, that makes enough money to cover the rest of it. But it's like, what about the 9 other artists who are sabotaging their authenticity by trying to play these characters or play this game? Yeah, I mean, exactly, you know? So that's kind of what I've been on lately, just like, if I'm feeling it, I'm gonna do it. If I'm not, I'm not.
I think just as somebody who consumes social media, right? You can tell when it's a planned post or the studio's telling them to do this at a certain time or hop on this trend. The cringiest thing is when you see grown-ass traditional celebrities doing a TikTok trend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, somebody's telling you, like, you need to focus on TikTok and you need to grow your following there. It's like, dude, it's a game kind of now.
Yeah, and it's like, if it's some people, it's like, it's funny and like I like to see The Rock do some dumb shit, but that's like
he's the best.
Yeah, that's because I just think every situation is different, and you can't just, a lot of these people be trying to apply blanket solutions to growth and engagement and stuff like that, where it's really, all it comes down to at the end of the day is, are the people that seeing this forming a connection with you based off of what you're putting out into the world? Yes or no?
Yep.
If not, you need to switch it up.
100%. You know, it's funny, I covered a lot of TikTokers last year because they all blew up, and I was at the Hype House last like January, just as Addison was just starting to pop, chasing all those kids. And I'm interviewing them, and I'm like, it occurred to me, like Captain Obvious, I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm an artist, like, I would love for you to dance to my song. And I go, do they do that? He goes, yeah, but we caught on real quick. And before we were like starstruck, like, wow, so-and-so wants to hang out with us.
Yeah.
But he's just using us for our following. So now we charge for that.
I mean,
so, like, talk about the business of things. How does it work?
I get both sides of it, because I've definitely been the guy finding TikTokers early on and, you know, paying them to do stuff to my song, you know, if they want to do it for free. And
you pay like out of your personal money?
I mean, now like there's budgets and stuff for that, but I mean, even still to this day, I'll pay somebody straight up off of my personal PayPal account to do some shit, because it's
that's
like
badass.
It's just that's the
hustle.
Yeah, like if you are gonna be the perfect person to do this and you're gonna make money off of it, and my song is gonna do well, that's a win-win situation. So I'm not really mad at that.
Absolutely. I think in business, like, the best deals aren't when like somebody gets a great deal and the other one gets fucked. It's those mutually beneficial ones.
Yeah.
And I think you can have that in anything, whether you're a fucking shoe store or you're a TikToker. Like, I think that's a good way to conduct yourself in the world.
1,000%, because you keep fucking people over, eventually no one's gonna want to do business with you. It's like, I'd much rather build relationships with people that I think they got something cool going on. They got something that's, you know, helpful to what I'm doing, and I can help them too, you know, reach their financial goals or come to a show or give a cool experience to their brother or sister, their daughter or son, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of cool experiences too, talk about charity to kind of switch it up. I mean, you got a cool vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, not just musically, but kind of what you're putting out there. And if I'm you, how old are you?
I'm 20.
See, if when I was 20, I wasn't thinking about charity or nothing, right? My brain was on a whole nother wavelength,
You was
right?
chasing girls
Yeah,
and worried if your fake ID was going to work that night at the bar.
Yeah, you know?
I feel that too. Yeah.
But to focus on charity or kind of make that, hey, that's something I got to make a priority too. Talk about that.
I mean, I don't want to act like I'm out there, doing it every single week or something like that.
Sure.
But charity has always played, had a piece of my heart because I'm somebody that benefited from scholarships, from back to school giveaways, from free programs and charitable stuff like that. So from where I'm from, it only makes sense to give back. And you're right, I am 20, I am young, and it's the start of these things, but I felt like I was doing it way too late anyways. Like I felt like I should have been doing it earlier, but I just didn't have the time or resources to do it. So now that I did my first charity event, it's just like, all right, what can we do next year to take this to the next level? Like, I want to have carnival games and inflatable jumpies and like 8 food trucks to make it like a fair with a charity component as part of it, but just a cool experience that people will remember too.
All right, so you did like a back to school thing in Oakland, just so people probably don't know.
Yeah.
And you got some cool sponsors together. So basically, was it like a care package for kids? Like you get shoes and you get this and that? Basically,
yeah. So I teamed up with Project Level, which is like a youth, program in San Francisco that I went to when I was like a teenager. And they helped me set it all up. And we did 2 events, one in San Francisco, one in Oakland. And like so many different corporations and like sports teams, Bay Area sports teams donated, and I put some of my own money in to make sure like every kid could get shoes. So you got shoes, you got like Volcom backpacks, socks, Starface skincare. We raffled off some like legendary Warriors, like Steph Curry signed basketball and stuff like that. So I don't know, just like looking at those kids, like how happy they left, that really warms your heart.
Dude, that's something that really matters because I remember when I was a kid, when you got a fresh pair of new sneakers, it's probably still the same way now. For a kid, that's like getting a new car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants to check it out if they're cool, it's evolved. Like, that's something that makes a difference in a kid's life to put on a fresh pair of shoes before the school year.
Yeah, and like me, I love fashion. I'm a huge sneakerhead, so I knew how much confidence I got when I walked into school with
100%.
a fresh, clean pair of shoes. Like, it don't even got to be the craziest shoes, but just to have a brand new, clean, stylish pair of shoes can really make the difference between dreading starting school and like being excited to start school. So I know there's like a lot of programs that give out school supplies and backpacks and stuff like that. So I was like, let me take it from a different angle, because if we're being honest, no kid is gonna be like, oh my God, I got a pencil and an eraser. Like, this is sick. They don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, they want the drip,
shoes.
Swag. Exactly. So I'm like, all right, other people got the necessities down. Let me give them some, like, the things that they want.
Stuff.
Yeah, the wants.
You're like the cool uncle.
Exactly.
I'm gonna give you guys the cool shit. Mom and Dad will worry about the pencils and the notebooks.
Yeah. I'm the cool uncle of the Bay. I'll take that.
That's very cool. And you were, like, as a kid, you mentioned being in youth programs, you were kind of a different kid in 5th grade, you were trading stocks. Like, normal 5th graders kind of aren't into that. So how did you even get down that path?
So when I was younger, I would do commercials and stuff like that. And, I wasn't making crazy money, but if you're in elementary school, middle school, and you're getting a $10,000 check, that's basically like getting $100,000 for an adult, because I don't got no expenses. I just fucking play video games and buy sneakers and go eat, drink boba after school. So my dad, he had a friend that was making money off stock market, some dude he knew from work and stuff like that. And that got him interested in it. So he started doing a bunch of research, and it's not like we came from a lot of money, but if you got $10,000, saved up $5,000 here or there, you can grow that money into something substantial. Mm-hmm. So after my dad had learned about that stuff, he was like, all right, well, I want to put you onto that too, so you can have money for college, money for your future, money for your kids' college. And I just remember it started off buying Apple stock and stuff like that in 2010, 2011.
You still got it?
Probably some of it actually, yeah, I do.
Nice.
But one of my major trading first memories of stock trading was I bought Apple so low, and I think it got up to like 900 at some point before it did a split. Split 7 ways. It got to 900, and we could have sold it there, but it was just like being greedy and not even being greedy, but just maybe being a little greedy. And thinking like, oh, it's just gonna go up forever, and then it like crashed down very bad in the next months after it, and just like that taught me patience though, because I didn't sell it at the bottom in panic. It was just like, all right, just ride it out. Then it split, and then it went back up, and then I ended up making even more money than if I had sold it at that previous peak before.
That's cool. Like a lot of like influencers and stuff now are into, it's pretty neat to kind of see the progression from, used to be, hey, give me 10 grand for a Bang Energy post on Instagram, kind of started out as that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, I want to own my own energy drink and promote that.
Yeah.
To, I want to like have a VC fund where I own a bunch of startups.
Yeah.
And like hopefully one hits big.
I feel like that's what like Josh Richards is on right now. Big time.
He's big time on that.
And that's really cool for me to watch too, because we're both in the entertainment industry, but we're in different spheres, and we both got that sense of being very business minded, right? So I could definitely see myself, taking a similar route and starting my own fund where I can get young athletes and young artists and young influencers like a way to grow their money, because I see so many dudes sign a deal and just go and blow the bag on chains and cars and stuff, and I'm like, bro, you still gotta pay taxes at the end of the year, right?
Taxes? What taxes?
Yeah,
no one thinks about that.
I know. I mean, trust me, I didn't think about that until I saw my fucking tax return, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, I wish I lived in Vegas sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta set some aside for that.
Exactly. But if I could have a way where I can like because I've already gotten my credibility in music that I know what I'm doing here, so I must be at least semi-competent in other things too.
Yeah.
Once I think I have a little more experience and have proven myself a little more in the business world, I want to be that figure to young and upcoming artists. It's like, you just got $1 million check, give me $50,000, give me $100,000, and 5 years from now, you're gonna be very glad that you did.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I interviewed Josh twice about that. He's got a good management team around him too. Do you have like a good kind of team around you? Did you build a good crew over the last couple of years?
1000%.
It's all about a good team.
You can't do this shit alone, bro. You really can't do this shit alone. There's so many moving parts and places and feelings and people that want you to do things. Like, if you don't have a good team, it's like a foundation. If your building don't have a strong foundation, any small disturbance and everything is gonna crumble.
Oh, no doubt. I like too your story. You've got a good message too, because if people don't know, he went to USC. He's told the story a million times, so we don't have to get into it. But he went to USC on a business scholarship, right? And dropped out after a semester.
Yeah.
But did you have the deal first before you dropped out, or like?
Oh yeah. I waited until I got the deal before dropping out, because that was like, I felt like I couldn't drop out on the basis of like, I hope this works out. Like, I need to stick with this and pursue my passion, my real true passion on the side, like parallel, until I got something I can grasp that says, okay, this might work out, not just it's gonna work out because I think it's gonna work out.
I think that's good advice too, because you see a lot of people, you got to quit your job and focus on your passion 100 times. I'm like, when I see shit like that, I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm like, keep your job, stay at school until you got some money coming in.
Like, there was a video that went viral recently of this dude that had walked up on like Logan or Jake Paul, snuck behind stage, and he was like, bro, I quit my $100K a year job. And he was like crying, and he was like, I want to work for you. And it's like, bro, you're not just gonna get those type of, you can't have the expectation that everything is gonna work out for you. Like,
so dumb.
Realistically, more times than not, shit is not gonna work out. And you just gonna have to, keep your head down, keep your spirits up, and just grind and just work through it, and eventually it'll work out.
That is a good message. Speaking of grinding, like, you kind of had the hustle. Say you kind of just were, regional SoundCloud rapper and kind of had your following, never got that big signing, so you had to continue through USC.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have success in another area? Big success in another area? I think you just have that?
Whatever I want to be successful in, I will be. It's just a matter of time.
Where do you get that from?
I call it unreasonable confidence.
Where does that come from?
Because a lot of shit has worked out for me that I beat the odds on so many different.
But in the beginning, you don't know that. In the beginning, you're just like, fuck, I hope it works. But
In the beginning, I was just a cocky little motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my homie in high school, he had came back and visited me a while ago, and I asked him, like, what do you think is the biggest way I changed from high school? And he was like, he thought about it for a second, you know, and he was like, honestly, Golden, like, it's kind of weird because you were always this confident, but it didn't really make sense back then. And now I guess it makes sense. So I'm like, all right, cool. I guess you just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Is that the message for, because a lot of young creators watch this and, you know, everybody wants to be an influencer now, even though you're an artist, but you're kind of an influencer too.
Yeah.
But like, it's the same thing being an artist or kind of break it on YouTube or something. Like, how do you believe in yourself if somebody's so scared to make that first post or make that first video, you know? You got that voice going,
don't do it.
Your friends are gonna laugh at you. Yeah.
And I mean, trust me, I've been laughed at by friends. Like, when I put my Soundcloud link in the fucking, as my senior quote in the yearbook, kids are like, oh yeah, right, you're gonna look back at this and feel so dumb or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've had kids tell me like, yo, you got into a good school, maybe you should stick with business and don't worry about the music thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit in here and act like I never doubted myself or I never had those lapses of confidence, but I think a big part of it is who you surround yourself with. You know, my parents always uplifted me and motivated me. That's something that not everybody's family dynamic is like. I'm very blessed in that sense. I had a big bro, a mentor, a big homie, Paperboy, who taught me that, hey, dreams are for believers, and if you really want something, you can go and get it, by showing me how he chased his dream. You know, my friends, they would come to the concerts when it was 20 people in the crowd and pretend like they didn't know me and that I was the illest fucking rapper alive, you know? And it's the people you surround yourself, really, the team, like we talked about.
Oh yeah. How's your stage presence? Like, how is it now? I mean, are you going on any big tours coming up, or COVID fucking up everything?
I mean, we good. Fingers crossed, we good right now.
Oh, okay.
I just did 2 festivals last weekend.
Oh, nice. How'd they go?
Really, really good.
Nice.
Because for me, my thing was all my touring experience prior to the last couple months had been opening up for somebody else, right?
Sure.
I opened up for Landing Cube in 2019. I opened up for YBN Corday
nice.
or Corday in 2020. And when you're doing that, it's kind of a different mindset, because I felt like none of these people know my music, none of these people like me.
Or even want to see you.
Yeah,
they want to get to the artist.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and there was some people at every show that came to see me, which meant a lot.
Sure.
But it was like, I felt like I had to prove something and I had to like go over the top rather than just sharing my music with the world. And people liked the energy. You know, I was just on some rage shit, but it was killing my voice. It was killing my body every day. It was killing my mental. So with these new performances and my last performances, I've learned that I could just go out there and do me, but not have to try to get people to like me or try to prove anything. Like, me going out there singing my songs and moving my body in a way that's how I feel.
That's cool.
That's what people fuck with.
You know, people, I guess it's our nature to put people in categories. Like, what are you? You're a TikTok rapper, right?
Yeah. Well,
hold
no.
on, let's go deeper, right?
Yeah.
What are you? You're a rapper. But you got some rock stuff going on. You've got a diverse musical taste, right? Your parents put you on fucking Miles Davis,
Yeah,
Lauryn Hill,
exactly.
Outkast, you know, the classics like out there. So you've got, artists don't listen to the same music that most people listen to, I don't think. They go deep.
Yeah.
They go into artists nobody's heard of and kind of investigate that kind of stuff. So you've delved into rock stuff. You know, you're a hip hop guy, you sing, so you're kind of like that R&B singer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Or do you look at yourself like, I'm a rapper first and all the other stuff's kind of whatever?
I mean, it depends what mood I'm in on a day, you know, no pun intended. Damn, I can never say that word no more. But it's like, yo, some days I go in the studio and I feel like rapping. Some days I go in the studio and I feel like singing. And I think that being an artist artists are human beings too, you know? And you would never expect a human to be the same exact version of themselves every single day, right?
No.
We go through new experiences, we learn things, we fail, we meet new people, we go to new places, and all these, we deal with certain emotions, and all these things add up to being who you are in this very moment. That's the same for music, you know? I listen to all these things, I go through all these experiences that my music is not gonna come out the same exact way every single time. Some people try purposely because it's not like there aren't artists who have the same sound every time.
Sure.
But I feel like that's them kind of being afraid to fail or afraid to explore, afraid to experiment. Me, I'm trying to make a new sounding song every single time.
You had a #1 song worldwide. I looked like 1.2 billion streams on Spotify.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Like, is there pressure to, can I do that again? I don't know. I mean, I want a #1 hit again. Will it ever happen? You know, can I follow that up? Does all that go through your mind, or do you just kind of go, I'm just trying to create a good song?
It's weird because I've been on both sides of that. You know, when it first happened, I felt like, oh shit, if I don't go #1 again, or my next song goes on the Billboard, or my album isn't a #1 album, then I'm a failure and I've fallen off, and all these kind of self-deprecating negative thoughts, right?
Of course, yeah.
But then I realized, like, it doesn't even make sense for me to have a #1 record that early. Like, that was a blessing, bro. Like, a song that I made with my homies in their apartment in the start of a global pandemic where we were playing Call of Duty and I just started singing some random shit, and that ends up being a #1 song. Like, you can't predict those type of things. But what that showed me, and my understanding of that experience now, is that I'm capable of making music that is good enough that the whole world wants to hear it. Not just once, not just twice, but over and over and over again, so that I'm at the #1 for 8 weeks.
Yep.
That if I could do it once, I could do it twice, you know?
That's the right attitude, you know? Who do you look up to? You look at guys like Drake who just have done it over and over again for a long period of time, Kanye. Like, who do you look to? Like, who are your guys?
Drake, Kanye, as of lately, Tyler, you know.
His last album was so good. And the one before too, with the pink cover, whatever that was.
He's been on a streak. And I was listening to Tyler when I was in 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah.
But it was just on some Odd Future,
I was just gonna say,
edgy type of shit, you know?
Out there.
But even then, he was so true to himself and true to his vision and willing to just not give a fuck what people thought about him, you know? So for him to progress all the way to now and have such like a consistent slope, like, that's fire to me. Like, with my
it was slow. It was gradual.
It was very gradual, yeah. And now he feels like he's the biggest niche artist in the world. So
probably is.
Yeah, like for me, I feel like earlier I was chasing commercial success because of insecurity, really, because I didn't have a cosign from a major rapper. I didn't have my whole city or state behind my back. I didn't have a cult fan base already. So it was like, well, fuck all y'all. I'm gonna show you that I can make music that's bigger and therefore better than all you guys because my songs are gonna be the biggest. So I was really just focused on trying to make the biggest songs possible rather than what am I trying to share with the world. So I feel like now I respect and I admire and I value the artistry of being an artist a lot more than just a commercial success.
You see your sound changing? I mean, do you look like a Tyler and you go Odd Future to kind of where he's at now? I told you, don't sleep on a 40-year-old white guy. I mean, I know Tyler, the creator.
He knows his stuff. Yeah.
But the way he's kind of transitioned over the years, do you see your sound, and do you hope to do that too someday, kind of transition to different
1,000%. And I think that's kind of happening already. If you listen to, you know, my first EP, Dropped Out of College, to my album now, there's a very noticeable difference in sonics, in lyrical quality, in song structure that, in my opinion, I at least think I'm getting better. You know, so what I really want to do with this next music is explore new sounds, new vibes, and get more personal with my lyrics. I feel like the melodies are undeniable.
Wait, so I want to ask you that. I forgot to ask. So on your smash hit, right?
Yeah.
The guitar hook is kind of what drives it. Where does that come from? Like, what's the process? How does that even...
So on that particular situation, it was very random.
Okay.
A good friend of mine, Omer Fetty, he super talented producer, was me, Omer, Ian Dior, and KBZ, who's also a really talented producer. He did all the drums on there. And we were chilling at Ian's house, and Halftime 2 / Ryan, who recorded the song on a rough ass mic, like ratchet setup. It was not a bad setup. But we were playing Call of Duty, me and Ian, and Omer just starts playing the guitar.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was in the background, and I just started singing along to it without even really thinking about it. So he masterminded that sound of the guitar and that kind of nostalgic riff.
That's cool, and you're right about the melodies, undeniable. I'm interested in artists' process too. So you keep voice memos on your phone, right? You think of something and you just do it. But where does the melody come from, and the instrumentation, or like, I want a guitar here? Like, how does that happen from a little voice track to the beat? Like, how does that happen?
I mean, that's the beauty of making collaborative music. You know, I don't know how to do everything.
Yeah.
If you put me in front of a FL session, I can't make a beat for shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing there. But
That's not your job.
Exactly. That's not my job. My job is to share my truths, my stories, tell stories, give perspective on life, and have fire melodies, you know? So for me, I like to start with a loop or a beat already. A loop is just the instrumentation with no drums on it.
Okay.
And I'll just go whatever I'm feeling. Like, it's so hard to describe, and it's so weird because you don't think of melodies, you feel them. It's like it comes from this like other world that you can't see, and it just pops in your head and comes out your mouth. Like, it's weird.
No, it's like, I'm a big music nut, and they all talk about that, like the great songwriters, whether it's a Jay-Z or a McCartney, Lennon from the Beatles, right? It just kind of happens. You can't force the idea. It just kind of comes from...
It just comes to you, you know? From God, from the universe, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, you're not doing that yourself consciously.
Sure.
It's like
it's just there.
Collective conscious, I don't know, whatever it is, but it comes from somewhere else for sure.
You ever see that Jay-Z documentary, Fade to Black? You ever watch that? It's cool. It's him. It's Kanye when he was a producer at Rockefeller, and Jay-Z's recording whatever album it was, and Kanye's playing the beats, and Jay-Z's talking shit like, that beat sucks. You're the worst fucking producer ever. You got anything good? But then Kanye plays Lucifer, the beat from that.
Yeah.
And then Jay-Z stands up and starts like waving his hat and like dancing around.
Yeah.
And like that, you feel it, right? That's the one. Is that kind of how it feels?
Yeah, it's like something clicks in your head.
That's
and
cool.
You just know this is the one.
Nice.
Like all my biggest songs, Mood, I knew was gonna be big. I didn't know it was gonna be that big.
Sure.
But when you make a good song, you can feel it. And I think part of getting your radar to knowing what songs are the good ones is being honest with yourself when you make some mid shit. You know, like I could leave the studio and be like, that was mid, but you know, we'll try next time. No one's gonna really hear that unless I want them to. So I don't feel too bad about it.
Nice. So what do you got coming up? Oh, people want to know, do you have a deluxe edition of El Dorado coming up?
No, I said I was gonna have it at first.
What's up?
And then I kind of just decided like, I don't want to do a deluxe. I'd rather just make new music that's not necessarily tied into anything and just put it out there. Like I feel like this whole trend of doing deluxes is more of a sales-based thing than an artistry-based thing.
Yeah, just to get more streams. And
yeah, cause then you'll when you drop the deluxe, it still counts. All those streams count as towards the original album still. Oh. So it's like basically adding on 10 songs that all those streams count plus whatever you had on the original album. So it's just like a tricky way of having really long albums.
Ah, okay. Are you gonna like release it in dribbles, your next stuff, like single, or are you gonna like hold it back and do a proper album? Like what's the game plan?
I'm still figuring that out myself. I know that I want to put more stuff out there, but part of that is just because I feel like it's like another like insecurity. Like if you're not putting stuff out there, does anyone still care? You know, but the people that care are gonna care.
Yep.
And it's not like anyone's really checking like, Golden hasn't dropped in 78 days.
Yeah,
like, what's going on? It's like when I drop, the people that give a fuck are gonna be there to give a fuck still.
Yep.
And that's all there's to it.
That does take confidence, because especially now on social media and stuff, it's instant gratification. And that was always what I thought would be frustrating if I was an artist. Like, okay, I'm in the studio, I just make something that's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But now I wait 8 months till it gets released, right? Like I don't get the experience like people getting excited about it for 8 months.
Yeah.
And by then I'm already on something else.
You already listened to that shit 100 times
and it's
in your
not
car,
fresh.
and you got to perform it now. And it's like if for me, honestly though, like performing it or having a song blow up, or like those two things actually brings it back to life for me, where I don't get tired. It's just like listening to it in the car or something like that, or like that we have to. It's like this is old to me.
Yeah.
But the performing and having a song blow up, that gives it like a new angle, like a new perspective to that song.
So what else, man? We talked about music. We talked about charity.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about business. You got any more business plans coming up?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of investing lately.
What are you into? Crypto and NFTs and all that?
I'm into crypto. Everything finally bounced back, which is fire, you know.
I know yesterday Bitcoin dipped.
It'll be back.
I know.
We're going to be at 100K sooner than anyone thinks.
Nice.
Shit. So I'm just rocking with that. But also I've been investing in like different startup consumer products brands. Like
cool.
Poppy is this prebiotic, probiotic, whatever apple cider vinegar is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's pre or pro. I always forget.
Okay.
But they made the soda, which is like 5 calories and tastes like good soda, but
nice.
It's good for your gut health too. And it's just been like exploding, flying off the shelves. Whole Foods, Air One, like
No
Trader
way.
Joe's, Target, all these things. So I got in really early, and now they're like 20x or something like that, looking into the next round.
How cool is that?
So I'm excited about that. Starface, the skincare
What's that?
company, they make these little stickers that you put on your face.
Okay.
For pimples.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a star, so it looks kind of cool and not like overly medical, you know? So those are the two that I'm probably most excited about right now.
Just talk real quick about how deal flow works, right? Because us watching this, right? We're regular people. People don't bring us deals in, apple cider soda. But how does it work? Do people come to your manager and you kind of sit down once a month and go? Does he go, hey, what do you think about these 10 things? Like, how does it work?
I mean, in my case, my managers on Electric Field, they have like a fund and stuff like that, and they're in that world. So whenever there's something that they feel like is interesting or that I'd be interested, they'll bring it up to me and say, hey, check this out. Here's the deck. Here's the team. This is why we're investing in it. Do you want to invest in it too? And that's kind of just
cool.
a perk of being with them for management.
Nice.
But I didn't even know what deal flow was until like a year ago. But
I heard Kevin Durant's manager talk about it.
Yeah.
Before that, I didn't know. He's way into tech and startups.
Oh,
he's killing it.
Especially being in the Bay and in that Silicon Valley, like there's so much potential to get involved in those things there, which I was like, if I was still living there, I'd probably be doing a lot of that stuff too. But deal flow, for those out there that don't know what it is basically just how many deals or opportunities to invest come across your table. So mine was 0 until I blew up.
Okay.
and yeah,
now you got deal flow.
Exactly, yeah.
That is pretty cool. That's a benefit. And if you work it right, like Josh Richards and these guys, they're really getting set up because they know, especially in the TikTok world, who the fuck knows where I'll be in a year? I could be canceled. Who the fuck knows what happens? But I got these other revenue streams that's going to keep me going.
Yeah, I think, especially with influencers, it's so fickle because it's like very algorithmic based, on if you're popping this week or not.
Yep.
And like you have to keep uploading content and feeding the machine versus like an artist is also very fickle, but I think it's more, your career is a little bit more in your hands because it's based off of the quality of what you produce and how you how you put it out there basically.
True.
Right? So for me, it's just like, I love being an artist, but you're not gonna become a billionaire just off of music alone. And I'm trying to make sure my kids is good,
Generational wealth.
Exactly, generational wealth. So this was a cool way for me to, get into something that I genuinely already have an interest in, business, investing, brands, and I can leverage my position as an artist to get the most I can out of that.
That's cool. I just interviewed an influencer 2 weeks ago, and she was saying the average millionaire has 7 revenue streams.
Yeah.
And she had 4, and she was like dying to get like the next 3. She's like, I'm doing this project and I'm doing this one too. Like, is that how you look at it too? Like, I want to get some things going.
Yeah, and I've heard that so many times.
You've heard
like
that? That was the first time I ever heard that.
But I feel like the way I interpreted it was if you don't have 7 right now, you need to get 7 like ASAP.
Yeah,
but it's
I don't
kind
buy
of
that.
a better approach to do like one, like take it step
Quality.
by step. Yeah, making sure that is this what I even really want to be doing? Is this causing me more of a headache? Like, would I rather have the free time than working on some side project? Like at the end of the day, happiness over money. But once you get to like it takes a certain level of money, I think, before your like happiness. Before I was
I know what you mean.
Once you get 70, I remember the statistic was like once you make past $70,000, like your rate of happiness that you get from the amount of money like decreases. So like more money doesn't make you as happy, basically.
Sure. I believe that makes sense, right? 70 grand, you got your bills paid, maybe you got a couple cars.
Mortgage, yeah, you can live
You're good.
comfortably,
You don't have to stress going out to dinner, you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, that's cool. All right, brother. I think we talked about everything.
That was good. I enjoyed talking with you.
I enjoyed talking with you. You want to do some fan questions? See how
Yeah,
this
let's
thing?
do
You got
some
time or
fan-
you
yeah.
got,
Nah,
you got
we
jewelry
got-
stops to
let me
make?
see.
What time is it?
Nah, we got time.
We got time?
Yeah,
All right. Damn, how many texts did you get?
a lot.
How many texts you get in a day? How many unread texts you got?
I had to start clearing it out because it was giving me anxiety. Right now, I have 658 unread texts.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That would stress me out. Yeah, but that's
You learn to live with it.
Yeah, this is how you live, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, for you guys watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe. I got great interviews coming up every Thursday at 10 a.m. Thanks, guys.